Okay, so I'm doing this for the fourth reading tracker for As I Lay Dying. Um, I'm not really sure. Are we doing pages or is it by section? So this should be pages 85 to 106, I think. On the last two tracker or three trackers, I think I understood the thing, or I did it by section. So it was like for each like chapter, kind of. I thought like that was how we were doing it. So that kind of messed me up, and I might have written some things that were not in the assigned section. Um, but yeah. Um, so kind of talking about this section. Um, so Addie's died basically, and now they have to put her in the coffin and travel a long way. Um, I thought it was kind of interesting where Toll is talking, and he basically like inserts like this like image of a coffin right here. Like it's like very like flow of thought, like train of thought kind of thing, and it like it's really disruptive in like the text, but I feel like it just makes sense like when it's like written in train of thought kind of like way. So I guess that fits in the book. I've never seen that kind of like use of like an image in like writing, but I guess like maybe that's one of the things with like modernism, like you're allowed to break more rules. Um, and yeah, in this part, it's talking about how they laid Addie in reverse, and I guess that kind of really like it really nails down the whole idea of like how maybe Toll and Cora and maybe like the neighbors view the Bundrins. They might view them as a little bit backwards or like upside or like yeah backwards, I guess, because um like Cora's like very judgmental, obviously, and she's like talking about how like it's like not normal for like Addie to be like buried so far away, not from her family. And I guess like with her being laid backward or like reversed in the coffin, it kind of like creates a visual for maybe some of the strange behavior or seemingly strange behavior that the family does. Also, I thought it was interesting that they laid her backwards because they didn't want her wedding dress to be crushed. I don't know if that was Addie's request, but it seems like a very vain thing, a very image focused thing to do. So that may lead us into more of like what kind of person Addie was before she died. Um, let's see what else is there. Oh, also, there's this part where Vardman's talking, and it's basically he has this like kind of like philosophical. Sorry, I'll let the plane pass first. So basically, Vardman has like this philosophical talk with Darl. It kind of reminded me of like that like quote. I forgot who said it. It's like Rene Descartes or whatever, where it's like I think therefore I am, and it's like it's really funny because it's just like this like kind of silly dialogue between like these two brothers. Just like reminded me of that, where they're like, um, if Pa is your Pa, why does your Ma have to be a horse? Because Jules is, and then like it's like it skipped down a couple lines, and then um Darl says, then, or Vardman says, then what is your ma, Darl? I said, and then Darl says, I haven't got near one, because if I had one, it is was, and if it was what can't be is, can it? Like, I just thought it was, like, really, like, philosophical, and it's, like, really, like, deep, kind of, like, it's hard to understand, but it's, like, deep, or maybe, like, fake deep, coming from, like, these kids who maybe work out in, like, in their family's farm all day, and, like, maybe don't receive, like what we would call an education now. So I thought that was really interesting coming from like Darl and stuff. And what's even more interesting is that like later in this chapter, um, when Ance is talking, Ance is basically like judging Darl for like, laughing and saying that like people call him the weird one, but like really he seems so much wiser and omniscient, omnipresent almost, because he knows about like Dewey Dell, and he also knows about something about Jewel, and he seems like he knows more than he lets on. So it seems a little weird that the people view him as like weird. I guess. I don't know. Oh yeah, also, yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe it might have just been, it could just be, like, Ants, or it could be Addie, or they both are, but Ants and Addie, they seem to come off as very, like, appearance focused and very image based, because when, like, when Cash brings his toolbox, because he says he wants to fix, Toll's roof, and when, Dewey Dell has, like, the package that he's holding that she wants to sell, like, the cakes and stuff later, and later when Jewel wants to ride his horse, like, Ants is like, no, that's flouting the dead, like, it looks bad, you know. It seems like he's more focused not really on respecting Addie, just more on, how others will view him on the way that he respects the dead. So, I don't know, I just thought that was really interesting, like, on, like, his behavior, that it seemed like he was doing things more for other people than actually for himself, or, I don't know, his family, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, let's see what else. Oh, also this part where they have to haul the coffin onto, like, the wagon, this was, like, a part that was really interesting, because Jewel has, like, this basically, like, this huge burst of, like, rage, and somehow, like, is able to haul the coffin onto the wagon all by himself, and is running, and, like, Darl describes him, like, basically, like, running behind him, barely, like, doing anything. I guess, like, that could be, like, a display of, like, Jewel's grief, like, maybe that's how he shows his grief, maybe through, rage or anger, I guess. We see that a lot of times he projects, like, his grief and anger onto other family members, and yeah, I thought it was interesting too, because in the beginning of the book, Cora was, like, talking about how, Jewel was, like, the favorite, or, like, she was partial to him, or whatever, but then, like, Jewel also seems to be the one that, like, cares the least, like, he didn't nail the coffin, he didn't, like, you know, yeah, he wants to ride on his own horse while they're on the journey, but then at the end, he's the only one holding up the coffin and, like, throwing it onto the wagon, so I thought that was interesting, so, yeah. Oh, right, also, since I was confused about, like, the page numbers and, like, the sections and stuff, I actually read way ahead to, like, the end. And when I was rereading this one section, it really stuck out to me because of, like, future stuff that I found out. So basically, Darl says, or Vardaman says in his philosophical talk with Darl, he's like, but you are Darl, I said. And then Darl says, I know it. That's why I am not is. R is too many for one woman to full. And I'm not really sure what that means, like, one woman to full, like, I'm guessing, like, childbirth, but I thought it was interesting that it's, like, he says it's too many for one woman to full, like, maybe he's, like, hinting at the fact that he knows Jewel is, like, not Ance's, and is actually, you know, the preacher guys, so maybe I'm reading too much into this, but that's what I thought when I reread that line, so, let me think. I can't think of anything else to say, but this recording's getting a little bit long, so I'm gonna end it.